Not exactly sure what I want to talk about right now, but I've become one of those people that has a little mic. So I'm going to talk into my little mic. Why not? I know a lot of people say I'm just living in my basement, my mom's basement and everything. Well, guess what? No, it's even worse than that. I live in a trailer, but I take care of my mom. We don't get along politically, but I take care of her because I love her. She hasn't always done the best things for me in my life, but I'm still stepping up and doing what I have to take care of her. But yeah, I'm trying to get work. I'm trying to do what I can. I'm a trained electrician. I've been doing this for 15 years. When I moved back to Illinois, come to find out there's not a whole lot of work because there's no state licensing in here. So anybody and everybody could be an electrician, and nobody could be an electrician and still say they're an electrician. So what do? I look for jobs, real jobs, good jobs, ones that I feel like I could do without feeling like I'm going to, compromise my integrity. But a lot of the contractors out here are these solar contractors, these these fly-by-night solar companies, or these, out of state, trying to make money in the state and take it out of this state of Illinois. These companies are the ones that are installing all these solar panels and getting all the tax write-offs for it. And they do a lot of really nasty shit. They don't care about doing it properly or safely, and I don't want to work for them. So I've tried to find any work I can to make money. But I apply and I apply and I apply. I do interviews, but they don't hire me. So my thoughts are I might as well try to make use of the time that I do have free. All this time that I'm just sitting around doing absolutely nothing but taking care of my mother. I go hang out with my kids and I get on my computer. All the stuff that I have, all the things that I use to stream, everything that I, use and try to I don't know what I'm trying to say there. All the equipment that I have, I bought while I was still employed out in Colorado when I was working as a licensed journeyman electrician. So I did have the money at the time, but now I don't. I was homeless 11 out of 24 months this last year. That's, not a fun time for anybody. Living out of a car, living out of hotels. And trust me, the homeless problem has nothing to do with, oh, they're on drugs and they just don't want to get help, or, oh, they don't want to take the government assistance, but yet somehow we're spending so much money on government assistance. What's that? Not everybody is out here just high on fucking meth and fentanyl and heroin. There are plenty of homeless people that are working. I met plenty of them. Plenty of them go to the 24-hour fitness so that they can, work out, but also so that they can take a shower for work the next day because they're going to sleep in their car that night. Yet we allow hedge funds and hedge fund managers and private equity firms to buy up single-family housing units. We allow them to buy up multifamily housing units and keep them as inventory, but not actually rent them out. Or they rent them out and then the minute that you can't make a payment because, say, you lost your job in a bad economy, they can evict you real quickly. Whereas before, they couldn't evict you right quick if you were on a mortgage. So now they're trying to make all of us renters, and they don't want any of us to own any actual property. They want to make everything private property, not personal property. It's a problem that a lot of people don't get and they don't understand, is that when a socialist or a communist talks about private property versus personal property, private property is a corporation, an ultra wealthy person that has seized the means of production and made it so that they're the only ones that can provide you with a job, supposedly. These are the people like Nestle and Coke that buy up all of our water and then sell it back to us. These are the type of people that sell us dirt. These are the type of people that would sell air if they could figure out a way. It's like back when Nikola Tesla tried to get us wireless energy. They looked at him and asked him, well, how are we going to charge for this? How are we going to be in control of it? Well, nobody would be in control of it. We'd all just be able to benefit from it. Oh, so there's no profit motive. Okay, well, we're not going to do that. You know, it would be beautiful to live in a world where you didn't have a profit motive for everything. It'd be nice to actually just be like, hey, we're going to pay these people to build housing because we have a lot of people that don't have houses. So we're going to take the money that we've pulled together as a community, and we're going to choose to use part of that money to build houses. We're going to use part of that money to defend ourselves. We're going to use part of that money to give everyone health care. But instead of, realizing that you have all of these politicians out here getting paid on the back end, on the front end, on the side end, they're getting paid from everybody because they can benefit from it. They can make decisions based off the knowledge that they have. They can buy stocks in certain times, knowing what's coming up. The insider trading is disgusting. We have a two-party system where the two parties are both owned by the same people, the ultra wealthy. They're the ones that make us hate each other. They're the ones that are out here telling us that all of the homeless people are drug addicts and shiftless lazyabouts, and that, like Brian Kilmeade said, we should just involuntarily lethal inject them. Just kill them. That's what he said. I don't know what world we live in or what world you live in, but when we're sitting there and we're discussing forced euthanasia upon the homeless because we don't like seeing them, or you have it in your head that you think they're just automatically a drug addict or a bad person, or if given a home that they're going to just demolish it and destroy it. Take a look at yourself. Have you demolished and destroyed your own home? Is that why you think that? Do you know family members that have lived like that? I know the vast majority of the middle and lower class, working class people in this country can't afford to upkeep their house properly. I live in a town of supposedly 15,000, and almost every house that you see that the average person that lives and works in the town is falling apart because they can't afford to take care of it. And it's not because they're drug addicts. It's not because they don't give a shit. It's because they can't. They're too tired from working 12 to 14-hour days, having to drive 2 hours to get to their job every day, 2 hours to get home every day. Please, stop hating on each other. Stop believing the propaganda that they have been just destroying us with. Please. I'm going to put this up completely unedited. Even the part where I didn't know what the hell to say and I just zoned out for a second. Because I want to be unfiltered. I want to be real. I spoke with my mother the other day after the assassination. And I said, have I ever once incited violence in my conversations with you about politics or the world in general? And she said no. Then today, I wake up at 8 o'clock Central Time and find out not only did one man get lynched yesterday, but a second man, a homeless man, was lynched. I say 2 black men have been lynched. One was a homeless and everything, and I tell my mom that. And then I say to her, they will freely go out here and they're lynching people now. They're not afraid to do it. They're doing this again. And she immediately got defensive and started yelling at me about talking about it at all. And I said, who do you think I'm like saying is the they? I'm talking about white supremacists. White supremacists are emboldened by this movement right now. This whole thing is emboldening white supremacy to its utmost, more than we've had in the last 60 years in this country. I'm a bald white man. I do not look like the type of person who should give a crap about any ethnic minority. But I do. Because I love everybody. I want everyone to have the best in their lives. I want the best for everyone. I don't want to believe that the majority of conservative Americans are white supremacists. I don't want to believe that. Are the majority of white Americans racist? Probably. I would say that at least the boomer generation, and Gen Xers, and probably 60% of millennials, maybe, are definitely like unwitting racists just because they were raised around it and they have it like ingrained in them. I want my kids to have a good life. I want my kids to have a future. I want my kids to actually have freedoms. I have a daughter. I want her to be able to make decisions for her own self, for her own autonomy. I want my sons to grow up unafraid that we're going to just end up in another fucking endless war and they have to go die for it, for capitalism. I'm the type of person that I think everybody should have health insurance. I want everyone to be born with a Social Security card and a Medicare card. I want everybody to have a home. We all pay enough in taxes. Why don't we just make our government actually make us homes? We control the government. There's more of us than there are of them. Just because they've got the military doesn't mean anything. But truly, above else, we need to take care of each other because we're all on this planet together. And I just want everyone to know that whether you're right wing, whether you're left wing, whether you're center, whether you're uncommitted, whether you're apolitical, whether you feel like you don't have a horse in this race. You all do. I'm not a. I used to follow Philip DeFranco a little bit, but not so much. But I'll call him out right now. He's got a good saying. You may not fuck with politics, but politics fucks with you. And I'll just end it there on that note. Love you all. Bye.